Hello YouTube and welcome to Theater Talk. For today's Theater Talk video, I have another review of a show for you, and today I'm going to be talking about Hadestown. If you're new here, hello, my name is Tori Cyclic. I make new videos every Sunday for Cyclic Sunday with other videos throughout the week. If you like what you see, like this video down below and subscribe while you're down there as well. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram in the description at tss6295. Now, let's get into the video. Today, the day that I'm filming this video, is May 17th, and I have the night off from work. So last night, I posted on my Instagram story, because I finally have that little question feature, what Broadway show should I see tomorrow night? And most of the responses that I got to that post were to go and see Hadestown. So besides the fact of me wanting to go and see it, and a lot of people telling me to go see it, I went to go see Hadestown. I got a standing room ticket. I had to wait 4 hours in line to get it because I went in the morning to the theater to see if I could get a rush ticket or get a standing room ticket early in the morning. They were like, all the rush tickets have been sold out. People were in line at midnight. And I was like, oh, it's 10 a.m. and the box office just opened. So great. Obviously all those tickets would be gone. And then they were like, come back later for standing room tickets. I said, okay, great. What's the cheapest ticket you have at the current moment at 10 a.m.? They go, oh, $250. And I went, I'll be back later for a standing room ticket. So then I went to an audition, then came back later in the day to the theater, was about the 10th person in line, and was waiting in line with some interesting people. Case in point, some girls who were sitting behind me who I think were either in high school or in college, who every time, like, there's people in front of me who were like, oh, I'm buying 2 tickets, one for me and one for my friend who's at work. So I was like, oh, I'll hopefully get a ticket. But these other girls behind me kept being like, I'm gonna cut somebody who cuts in line ahead of us. And I'm like, guys, we all knew what was going on here with these tickets. Like, come on, we don't need that. It's literally a ticket for a show. It's not that much. So anyways, getting into my review, talking about the show. Going into the show, I didn't really know much about it besides like the little bits that I'd seen about it on the internet. I hadn't listened to any of the music. I didn't really know much of the story. I just wanted to like go into it very, very fresh and not really knowing much about it. Hadestown is a folk opera that was written by Anais Mitchell, but it's a retelling of the Greek tragedy / story of Eurydice and Orpheus. The cast for the show is just absolutely incredibly talented. I'm gonna start with Eva Noblezada because she is insane, like absolutely insane. I've been a fan of Eva since she was in Miss Saigon in London in 2015, because I saw her in Miss Saigon in London in 2015, and holy crap, she is so good. It makes me angry how good she is because, one, she's a Jimmy Awards winner. If you don't know what the Jimmy Awards are, they're like these high school theater awards. A bunch of kids from high school get nominated through something and get to perform in New York, and the kid who's currently playing Evan in Dear Evan Hansen was a Jimmy Award winner. Eva was one of these kids, and she got discovered during this by the producers of Miss Saigon, and they said, hey, we're doing a new production of Miss Saigon. We want to cast you in the lead role, and you're gonna come to London with us and do this production. And she did, and now she has this amazing career and has 2 Tony nominations at the age of 23. And I'm here at the age of 23 like, how, oh my god, what? Her voice is just incredible. I've always been a huge fan of her voice because it's like belty and mixy and fits so perfectly into like this pocket of musical theater at the current moment, as well as like older musical theater. I feel like her voice just brings like such a new life to the music, no matter what it is. Because even when she did Les Mis and when she did Miss Saigon, I listened to different versions of those shows and heard how different people sang it, and Eva's always stood out to me because it has like such a ringing tone and quality to it that just is so good. And also her like riffs and everything are so perfect and clean, and I'm like, how does a person do that who's my age? Eva Noblezada plays Eurydice and Reeve Carney plays Orpheus, and his voice is also insane. He does a lot of falsetto singing throughout the show, and I was like, how can a guy, first of all, do that so consistently and have it just be so perfect all the time, and 2, have it just work and flow so well with all the music. I just don't understand it. Andre DeShields plays Hermes in the show, who kind of becomes the narrator of the show, and there's a lot of dark and heavy kind of emotional things that are happening in Hadestown, and I feel like Andre DeShields as Hermes, as the narrator, really brings a lot of joy and fun to the character and to the show. In the opening number of the show, he does like a little bit of like a groovy dance thing throughout the whole ensemble and around the whole stage, and I was like, this just sets a really perfect tone for who his character is and what he's gonna bring to the show. Amber Gray plays Persephone, and she has such a fun quality about her. Her voice, again, like everybody else in the show, is insane. She has a lot of like growly stuff and it feels very gritty and raw, but then she has all this like beautiful other stuff that's very emotional and sad with her voice. She has such a free spirit and is totally fun and like the total opposite of the character of Hades in the show, and that helps to bring more life and more fun to the show as well. She has this opening number of the second act where she like introduces the whole band and just has so much fun on stage, and I was like, I feel like I haven't seen somebody have that much fun in a character on stage in a very long time. Patrick Page plays Hades, and again, insane vocals, but for him, his voice is like so deep and so bassy that like he doesn't need a mic to fill the whole theater, in my opinion. Patrick Page delivers his lines so well and has such a gravitas on stage as Hades. He just like, because his voice is the way that it is and the way he just walks on stage, I was like, oh, I'm scared of him. Oh my God. The ensemble is basically a Greek chorus. It's made of 5 people. I think it's 2 girls and 3 guys. Honestly, I couldn't really tell who was female and who was male on stage, which I think really helped the story. The men and the women of the ensemble are equally strong on stage, and it kind of makes it like a blank canvas for the story to be painted on for them, because they are these characters in the beginning of the show and then transfer into something else in the middle of the show, and they really take on that role of the Greek chorus very, very well. The Fates are 3 women on stage who are kind of like secondary narrators to Hermes, and their harmonies are so super tight. They're very like a jazzy kind of sound to them, and every time they sang I was like, girls, give me another good harmony. Hadestown is a fully sung through show. There's a couple little moments where it has a little bit of like scripted dialogue that's not sung, but then it goes right back into the music. I feel like it helps the story flow a lot better, and it makes the story make a lot more sense. The music of the show is very jazzy and speakeasy. It's kind of set in like the Great Depression era, and it works so well with the story that they're telling, the version of this Greek tragedy and myth that they are telling, as well as the way that it's presented visually. Everything meshes very, very well in this show, like visually, set-wise, lighting-wise, music-wise, vocally. There were 4 songs in the show that I was just like absolutely blown away by. Anyway, The Wind Blows is the second song on the show. It's the Fates and Eurydice singing, and again, I love me some Iva Noblezada, and those Fate girls are insane singers. Just harmony-wise and vocally, that song just gave me chills right away, and I was like, ooh, this sets the tone for how the show is gonna go vocally, and I'm living for it. All I've ever known is a duet between Eurydice and Orpheus, and it's just so gorgeous. It's Eva and Reeve and a little bit of the ensemble as well singing. They have such good chemistry on stage with each other, like acting wise and vocally too, that it just, I was fully believing their stories on stage, especially in this song. Wait For Me and Wait For Me Too are probably my 2 favorite songs throughout the entire show, just because when I heard them vocally, I was like, oh, this is gonna be stuck in my head for a very, very long time. But also, they're just the most visually gorgeous songs in the entire show. I'm not gonna ruin this number for you guys because it's just really, really stunning, and like if you haven't seen the show yet, it's a really, really great surprise in there, and if you have seen the show, you probably know what I'm talking about with this. The way the ensemble moves in that number, just amazing. Like, it's just so good. There's so many things about Wait For Me and Wait For Me Too that I was like, this just makes the show for me. The stage is a revolving stage, and I love me a revolving stage. It has like 3 layers to it, where there's like a middle section, another section, and an outside section. And they just use this revolving stage so well. I feel like it really helps to create like the above human world and the underworld, because that's how they kind of move into it. There are so many amazing stage pictures throughout the show, and it's fully because of the lighting design and the set design, and whoever oversaw the show visually, they knew what they were doing. After seeing the show, I totally know why it got so many Tony Award nominations. Like, I'm not even surprised it got that many nominations. It's so good. If you've seen Hadestown, let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. Also, if there's anything you'd like to see here on my channel in my Theater Talk series, or just in general, let me know about that in the comments down below as well. Thank you guys so much for watching DFTBA, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.